A commercial war opposing allies is not consistent with our mission, with our history, with our current commitments for global security. At the end of the day, it will destroy jobs, increase prices, and the middle class will have to pay for it.
So President Trump feels slightly differently. He initiated the tariffs mostly to discourage China from dumping cheaper steel on the U.S. market, where U.S. steel workers have been laid off. But this is not a new phenomenon or conundrum. Back in 2016, the United Kingdom dealt with its own steel crisis, which sent then Prime Minister David Cameron's government into emergency mode. That summer in 2015, a company called Tata Steel cut nearly 3,000 jobs when it was forced to sell its UK operation due to lower prices caused by cheap Chinese imports. But Cameron did the opposite of what President Trump is doing. We bring in the man who was in the "What do we do now" meetings with Prime Minister Cameron, Steve Hilton, David Cameron's former strategy director and host of Fox News' The Next Revolution. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Liz. Great to be with you.
Great to have you. Similar situation, steel jobs lost, same villain, China, but Emmanuel Macron doesn't like the tariff solution because, of course, the EU, along with his country, doesn't have the promise that they'll be exempt yet. Should President Trump permanently exempt the EU from the tariffs?
No, not unless the EU exempts the US from its tariffs. And that's the really important point here. It was funny watching the president of France say what he did. Of course, you'd expect him to fight for his country's interests, just as you'd expect every company to fight for its own interests. That's what it's all about. But remember that President Trump is not starting this trade war, as it's sometimes been described. He is, for the first time, actually engaging in it and trying to win it, because the truth is that all around the world, countries have been imposing tariffs on the US for years. So when President Macron talks about how outrageous it is for a country to impose tariffs on an ally, he's basically talking about himself, because that's what the EU has been doing. The EU has much higher tariffs on American goods than we have on theirs.
Well, when the Cameron government, which you were a part of, faced this situation, that government blocked EU moves to impose higher tariffs on China. So now it worked then, but not, as you say, now?
Well, it's very interesting, and it shows the big political change that's happened in conservative politics, actually, with the advent of Donald Trump, because basically the Cameron government then was pushing the conventional free market line, if you like, that free trade is good, we shouldn't object to imports from overseas if they happen to be cheaper because that benefits the consumers of steel and so on. You hear that a lot, and you hear that from critics of President Trump on the right today. But what he's really done during the last couple of years, during his campaign and subsequently, is really changed that argument to say, look, that free market ideology, it may be good for the owners of businesses, it may be good for shareholders, but it's not good for workers, and we need to stand up for workers. And so that's a really big shift on the conservative side of the political fence.
But the point, if you want to save jobs, there's a difference, saving steel jobs and saving lots of jobs. What happened when you were part of that Cameron government where you blocked the tariff efforts? So did you start to see, is there now a recovery in the steel industry in the United Kingdom? Because back in 2016, it was a mess.
Yeah, and it's still a mess, and it's a massive. You've seen a massive decline. I mean, the truth is, in the UK, that whole conversation was actually overtaken by the Brexit situation, which really overwhelmed the government and the political discussion around all of those things. But in fact, it was really a part of it, because that conversation about the impact of globalization and these global trade deals and so on on jobs in the UK that arose with the steel issue, that affected the Brexit result.
Well, we're still waiting to hear what happens with Brexit entirely. It's not over yet. Steve, thank you very much. Good to see you.